Good afternoon, all of you. Thank you, BCOR, for inviting us. It's been a great pleasure to be a part of such an amazing event, second international conference, and witnessing such amazing speakers getting the wealth of knowledge. As far as Bharat, India is concerned, we have started the last 10 years, a good sporting ecosystem is being built up. And with the Commonwealth Games being signed off now, we have a big promise to showcase that yes, we are going to finish stronger by 2036 hosting the possible Olympic Games. I have a short video to show off the journey which GB Sports has had over the last 10 years.
What does it take to host a sporting event? Infrastructure, logistics, accommodation, technology, pragmatic planning, maybe all of it. But above all, it takes the right team. A team with an exemplary track record of orchestrating events of this magnitude with precision, passion, and perseverance. That's where we come in. We are Go Bananas. 7,000 plus athletes, 20,000 plus support staff, 600 event experts, 3,000 laborers, 1,92,000 man hours, 40 lakh plus square feet of overlays, 20 days, 6 cities, 26 venues, 36 sports, and 1,200 plus medals. Mission accomplished.
Little long film, but yes, this is what all we've achieved, Team Go Bananas. We can continue with the session. Thank you. We will discuss things later further.
Now, to complete, and that is why I don't want to annoy the audience, we are going to take questions, but we already have a panel for it. So now I request my dear friend Arthur, Eliza, to please join us on the stage. And I request the audience to please keep up your questions ready, because the panel all right. So when it comes to setting up a panel, it is important to complete the chain. What do you think would complete a chain? We have event organizers with us, the expertise, the industry. We have the NOC with us. We have the academia with us. But something is still missing, I see. But we have got the answer, and I think we have got the perfect answer. We have with us a esteemed personality, which, even if I say that I can introduce, no, I cannot. But I would like to give a glimpse, a better introduction I would try to, about our own dear. Why dear? Because he has been helping B-Corps right from the day one, and he has been helping us to set up B-Corps as a research and academic center, and he has been a critical mentor for us. So even when in the morning I was trying to play with him, he was like, which way do you want to go? Whether it is research or education, you decide first, and then come talk to me. So thank you so much for this mentorship, sir. This is what is required at times to find lines. And Dr. Adil Sumariwala is with us as the, yes, please. The Vice President of World Athletics, the former President of Indian Athletics. He has been tremendous in terms as an administrator, complete the governance system in India, and he has been helping the Indian ecosystem in complete different ways and robust ways, which can't be even introduced here. So now I would like to request, sir, please join us on stage and complete the panel.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
And I also request myself to join the panel.
Out. You want to give him the mic?
It's fine, it happens. Please have a seat. So, Adil sir, you must have seen what Arthur brings, very specifically the cultural identity of how India should beforehand practice about how do we want to take culture, because India is a diverse nation, it brings diversity throughout, and everyone is aware of it in the room itself, because when I've been talking with all my colleagues from different countries, one thing which was common was, one is yes, you have the mass with you, but the second thing is culture with you. So they have presented a perspective, including Eliza, which brings the academia perspective, which is polycentric organizing of the games. And we'll also take some insights from Nishitji. But before going that, I would like to have a comprehensive idea before starting the panel from you, as an athlete, as an administrator, as a business head also, because I would like to introduce the audience that Adil sir also have a very expanding business in terms of he understands the business very well. And in terms of hosting mega events, what India looks is also business, not only simply hosting mega events. What are your insight, the first insight, when it comes to all these discussions?
Thank you for having me here. So on the cultural part, as everybody knows, India is a very large country, probably the size of Europe. Our youth population itself is more than the population of whole of Europe. We have 1.5 billion people. 60% of them are below the age of 40. We have 19 official languages, 100 and odd dialects. So the people from north, south, east, west eat different, dress different, different cultures, different religions. We have, I think, 6 or 7 religions that happen within our country. So to me, what India needs to do is showcase its culture. India needs to not copy paste from any other games before, but take learnings from that, see how they have done their culture and try to project our culture even better. So on the cultural part, that is what I think we should do. Planning, of course, it's very, very evident that a lot of work, strategy, planning needs to go. And I would break it up into sort of 4 main areas: infrastructure, athlete development, governance and management, and sustainability and legacy. And then everything else could be subgroups of that. So I think we are well on our way. I think we've been very successful in our bid for the Commonwealth Games, which we signed off. We're very proud of that. We are on our way to the Olympic Games. We hope that we will get it. And I don't think anybody can ignore the youth population of this country. And whoever else may have anything else, I think the youth population of this country is a testament that the next Olympic Games should come to India.
Well said, sir.
So that's very well said, and it's very well articulated that what are the pillars we are going to work in, what is required at the moment. But just to you, sir, I would also like to inquire that what's the athlete side of it. So when India is going to host a lot of medal events, mega events in terms of World Police and Fire Games, Commonwealth, we already have it. Then we are also planning to have under 20 university games. When as an athlete, what are your insights on this? Because the other side is operations, the other side is infrastructure, event management. But what about the athletes in this entire organizing setup?
So let's look at the larger picture of the Olympic Games. Athlete is very, very important. But I think any games of this magnitude is a games of the community. You can't get a games together just with athletes. So you need government, you need police, you need infrastructure, you need the municipal corporation, you need the government. So athlete is a very important part of it, but let's not lose track of what is required. And unless all these stakeholders get together, you cannot have a successful Olympic Games. So you may have the athlete, but if you can't deliver a successful Olympic Games, then you are a failure. So your athletes may win medals, great. But unless all the stakeholders come together, then there is a delivery. There is great infrastructure. There is a great sustainability program. There is a great legacy program. As she just said, a lot of infrastructure just becomes white elephants if you don't have a great a great legacy program. We've seen that happen. I mean, I was shocked when I went to Athens a few years after the games, and that place was so beautiful. And then there was 6 feet of grass there. It was sad. I mean, I had tears in my eyes to see that great complex. I'd been to the games, and then a few years later, 10 years later, when I went there, it was disastrous. And millions and millions, billions of dollars were spent on it. So how are we going to use that? And I think these are all very important things. Without the athlete, there is no games. So, of course, athlete is the centerpiece. But you also have to understand the whole ecosystem.
So very well articulated, because in terms of going ahead with the athletes, the ecosystem acts as a supplement that to push the athletes, and it was the ecosystem. Talking about the ecosystem, because we have got global experts here, we have got the global plus Indian mindset here. Now coming to the ground realities of having an organizing event. So it's not about we already have a couple of events in India, and we have the onus, I would say, to represent India, not only Gujarat, India on a global map. And whenever there is mega events happening, there is like Google searches increases, the tourism increases, and everything increases. To put it into one sentence, what are the logistics? So I guess we have a right expert with us who comes from the industry and who represents the industry. I would like to know that how about the events which we are already organizing, and what are the logistics we are already planning in terms of everything? Because when it comes to ground, we have to have everything ready to deliver the games.
So as far as India is concerned, like what Sir said, it's a youthful nation, and I'd like to give some figures. Last 10 years, the kind of the ecosystem which is building up, we have more than 2 crore young athletes who have signed up into the multiple national games, which is like the Olympics of India. Parallel national games is like the parallel of Olympics of India. Then we have the Khelo India series of games, and so forth. A lot of other states like the Khel Mahakumbh, which started in Gujarat 15 years back, is now the Khelo India brand, all India. So already the country has maximum number of airports happening across the world. Urban infrastructure is developing very fast. As far as logistics are concerned for hosting mega events, the Coldplay concert was the best example. Okay, the artists themselves emoted after the concert that this was one of the top 3 concerts they have ever witnessed in the world. So in terms of logistics, if I may answer your question directly, we have arrived. The entire ecosystem is in place. And with a couple of events like the Vibrant Gujarat Summit, which is like the second best summit after the Davos Summit. So many events are happening, the event ecosystem is there, and as far as the sporting is concerned, last 10 years we have really built it up.
So
Also, I would like to add here, in terms of mega events, the integral part is overlays and operations and so forth. A lot of other things are concerned. India, if we understand India, we have mastered, we are the champions of overlays. Because the urban infrastructure has just come up in the last 15, 20 years. But before that, every small town and a city has got these facilities of overlays. So that's an inbuilt extra advantage as far as the country is concerned. And polycentric is one word, I will be carrying it forward. Amazing presentation. So again in India, if we are hosting one games in Ahmedabad, but within the city it's like a polycentric thing, because there are different regions and different infrastructure spread across different regions, and that's how the entire logistics happens very smoothly. Thank you.
So now my needle shifts to Arthur, because he has been there, done that. So in the Paris Olympic Games, I know that you had very well explained the cultural identity of a country or a city while hosting the games and why it is important. But I would also like to come across that when it comes to logistics, I hope we are ready with it. But I also have an opinion as an academic representative too. When it comes to hosting an event, it is something different. So for example, if we have a World Aquatics Championship, Kho-Kho World Cup, or something else, Hockey World Cup, that is fine. That is a one single event, one single sports happening at what point of time, or maybe a couple of areas. But how about having mega event like Olympics, World Cup of a different magnitude happening in what place, different location? How do you think the challenges are, and not only in terms of logistics, but also in terms of human resource? So mega events, logistics, but how should we prepare the human resources as well?
Wow, I think you are never ready. It's impossible. You think you are, but you are not. In the case of France, we hosted the Rugby World Cup the year before the games. Things were pretty good, so we thought we would be ready, but then we had this final of the Champions League in soccer, and we had huge problem in the stadium, the Olympic Stadium. So it was only one match of soccer. And then we realized that we were not ready at all in terms of security. I would say 2 days before the opening ceremony, we were not ready at all. But then few things can happen. People think this is the time of their life and they will be better than never before. That's the first thing. Then all of the institutions, the states, the International Federation, the NOC will work together at that precise moment, despite the fact they were maybe sometimes fighting each other the last 6 months before. So this is kind of the magical thing of the games. So my advice would be to just do a lot of test events you guys are doing, like hosting the Commonwealth, hosting the Fire and Policemen Championships. This is the really good things to do. But don't be afraid if you're not ready in that kind of event. We were not. And I mean, if I have to be honest, we did a lot of mistakes during the Paris 24 games. The thing is how you hide that. How you make it cool for people despite there is mistakes. Because nobody is perfect, and we were not. The thing is, regarding the infrastructures, I just want to say that you have to do the right choice regarding the specificities of your country. In France, we decided to do not build a lot of things because we wanted our games to be the most sustainable game ever. It's a choice. At the end, what do we have today? We have amazing memories, but I don't have a stadium in Paris because our stadium was temporary one. Okay, you all remember about the Eiffel Tower with beach volley in front of. But where do I play beach volley in Paris today? Nowhere. So, made a good choice for you. I'm not an expert of your country, but what I think is you maybe need infrastructure. So made a good choice. Do not tell you we need sustainable game. You need to invest, to develop, to build infrastructure for your country, for your next generation. The better way, of course. We did a choice and we will see what legacy we have in terms of infrastructure. And the last thing regarding the cultural things, I didn't told about that in my presentation, but I truly think it's a way to start your Olympic adventure 4 years before the opening ceremony, because you can imagine a lot of projects all around the country for within the Olympiad the cultural Olympiad. In France, we maybe ignore that event because of lack of money, lack of time, lack of resources. I think here you have human resources to do something. And as I told in my presentation, everybody wants to be part of the event. Kyoto Olympiad is a way to involve everybody and success the event. I mean, put it into the earth of every Indian because everyone can do something. That's it.
So, if the boss notes something, we want to see it.
Nothing. I mean, I completely agree with him. I don't think at any Olympic Games anybody was ever ready till the last day. But it's like, it's like the Indian wedding. When the bride arrives, everything is ready. You've hidden everything you wanted behind the screen, and that's what everybody does. So, we keep criticizing of the last Commonwealth game. No, everything, everywhere in the world is the same. And we are as good or as bad as anybody else. But just to talk about, logistics and Coldplay again. Coldplay had 125,000 people. There was no stampede, no rush.
Totally.
Everybody moved out. You emptied the stadium in less than 20 minutes.
Actually, the Gen Zs who came for the second concert,
Correct.
earlier it happened in Mumbai,
Yeah.
and they all emoted that this was an amazing
Absolutely,
experience.
Absolutely. So I think we are slowly mastering it.
Yeah.
We are trying to get to it. I mean, London Olympics, if you went into the Olympic, what was it called? The Olympic Square, where there was the athletic stadium, the swimming stadium, the Olympic Park. And to get out of the Olympic Park, there was only one exit, really, which went to the train station, and one which went to the bus stop. And it was not easy. But I think where they won were the volunteers. They are absolutely outstanding, and we don't realize how important volunteers are. Normally, because we just take them for granted. Those guys were so good. They made sure there was no stampede. They've stopped people in groups so people wouldn't be pushing each other. As one train came, they would let one group go through. It was outstanding. It took us 1 hour to get out of the stadium, not 20 minutes.
But
And there were only 100,000 people. We had 120,000 people cleared in 20 minutes. So
But the volunteers made it better.
the volunteers, otherwise it would have been 3 hours. Or there would have been a stampede. And the last point on infrastructure, you're absolutely right. We need to be sustainable. We don't need too many stadiums where there will be 100,000 people.
And then there's no one to utilize it later.
Exactly, they'll become a white elephant. But also a little different from Paris. The infrastructure in Gujarat needs to be, see, we are a developing sporting nation, whereas you are already a developed sporting nation. That's the difference. So we need to build some new infrastructure, not 100,000 people, maybe 30, 40,000 people. We are building some good indoor infrastructure because our weather is very bad. It's very hot, very cold, rain. So you need some indoor infrastructure. And the good thing that we are doing in Ahmedabad is we are getting community into Veer Savarkar, which is our new indoor infrastructure. Community is part of the infrastructure. So while on one side the elite are training, the community is also using the same infrastructure.
So that's what I completely I am on side of Adil sir, because India being a developing nation cannot cap the infrastructure too, because we need it. We need the sports infrastructure for the future, and also to motivate a generation which is coming to play in the summers. Also, we need indoor, we need outdoor, and we also need some premium facilities. So India is a superpower of sports. We need it. Now my question to my colleague sitting beside me. I hope you are not mad at me. So my question is, you represent the academia, you bring a very contemporary concept of polycentric, which the Sustainability Agenda 2020+5 also brings to the table, that any country should focus on the different venues, so that the spread is across and also it is even and does not load a nation, rather a city or a state. I would also like to know, is there a possibility, and do you think, because I have seen this example in America or other nations, that universities and industry plays a major role when it comes to sports infrastructure? So when it comes to organizing games, practicing, having camps beforehand for the Olympic Games, universities play a crucial role. Two roles. One is having good infrastructure so that athletes are there training and also competing. The second is creating human resource which are going to be needed in terms of hosting the games. So for example, as the other experts tell, the volunteers are the most underrated but the most tremendous part of the Olympic Games. What do you think the universities and schools or universities, other institutes, play a vital role, do you think, and how India can tap on that opportunity?
Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. So thank you for your question, Utsav. Well, we don't have to travel far away from here. We are now at the university, Rashtra Raksha University, and what we are seeing here. So first of all, the police and fire games, which will be hosted very soon here. So how many events are going to be hosted here at the territory of the university? 8 events, right? So that's a lot. So university here is becoming a venue for a very, very big event, very important event. This is about infrastructure. And this is really great because whatever is going to be built in terms of maybe temporary or permanent infrastructure, we can be sure that it will be properly used after, because this is a young university, but it's so well developed and so it continues to be developing. It's very, very rapidly developing. So there are going to be more students coming, more infrastructure going to be built. And this infrastructure, we can hope, won't be wasted, because there will be here always people who could make use of it. Not to mention, you could actually build some specific infrastructure. For instance, if we build a cricket stadium in Russia, it's probably going to be not used because we don't play cricket. So whatever infrastructure you build here, even if it would be quite unusual, you could organize sports which students could participate in here. So it will be used after. And as for human resources, again, at the example of this conference, we see amazing group of volunteers, many of them, who are well prepared, who speak our native languages fluently. I'm speaking about my attaché. Over there she's sitting, yeah. She's fluent in Russian, her Russian is flawless. So you already have volunteers, and I'm sure that the situation is pretty similar with other languages here. So there's people already ready to do a lot of things. So they can be volunteers now, they can be heads of volunteers, trainers of volunteers later, the organizers sometime later after they're well trained. So you have already it here happening. So definitely university is a great place when we talk about human resources and specifically about volunteers, which are extremely important, as has been said previously.
Please, please.
The recent Khelo India University Games, fortunately, unfortunately, it was executed in a gap of only 20 days notice. So what we did immediately on all the FA heads, as far as the whole age is concerned, I said it's a big strength, so it was not a stress. But volunteer management, and she gave a best example of someone knowing the language and taking care of her. So all these athletes, more than 5,000 athletes coming from all across the length and breadth of the country, what we did was we mapped few universities in Jaipur and other cities where the games were being hosted. And just an example of what the potential is, the Punima University, which was there in Jaipur, they gave us 500 volunteers, which became a very integral part of the success of the games. We had 3 sessions of all the FA heads with the students so that they could grasp of all what is going to happen over the next 20 days. But those 500 volunteers made it happen. So universities are going to play a big role in all these mega events. Thank you.
Just to add, Karai, where the Commonwealth Games main stadium is, where the shooting, that whole complex is actually a police academy.
Yeah.
So it's as good as a university, just for the police, that's it. So university is absolutely the most, because that's the place for research, that's the place for volunteers, that's the place for teaching, that's the place for sports management. Because they have the infrastructure, you have center of excellence. So university plays a very, very important role.
So that is why on a larger mission, that to prepare India, to prepare Gujarat in terms of hosting mega events, also hosting here in the university, it's very important. And that is what we have been curating from day one, that India need to gear up. When we say India, everyone needs to gear up. So be it academy, as you have rightly mentioned, Karai Academy is very important part of Commonwealth Games, including Rashtriya Raksha University, which is going to be a very important pivotal role in terms of World Police and Fire Games. And that's what we have been trying to do here, train our volunteers so that they are online with what is going to be. That's not a shock for them then. That, okay, some mega event is coming. We are on the line to create these mega event simulation so they are well aware of it. So now I think it would be justified to open the floor for the audience. I have been talking a lot. I open the floor for the audience. This is what we will take a note of it. We'll have extra mic.
Your presentation was amazing. Your presentation was amazing.
Hello, am I audible, sir? Wonderful session and panel discussion. Actually, one of the slides shown by Professor Makis in which it was mentioned that how sports can contribute to climate change and environmental sustainability. Later on, I had discussion with him, but there was no satisfactory answer from his side. But today, what ma'am has covered, Professor Elizaveta, see polycentric games, and Adil sir has mentioned sustainability, and Nisi sir has mentioned about the logistics, and Mr. Arthur has mentioned about everybody's contribution counts. So herein, what I find in this polycentric approach, we can have big impact on the environmental sustainability, because the post event whatever the wastages and whatever the impact it has caused to the environment, negative impact, which can be utilized for the other events, other activities, and it should not be a wastage later on, because it is a cost centric, and environmentally also it's a cost centric. So thus it contributes to the climate change in a significant manner, as well as to the environmental sustainability. And on the academic side, I would like to suggest that it should be integrated with the research, how the sustainability and climate change can contribute to the sports. That's how the sports will contribute. I think it makes a useful contribution towards the research and all.
I'll add few more points. Like there's a very small thing which is happening here in this conference, your lanyards. Okay. It's micro retailing. Small bits will contribute to the environment, sustainability and climate change. So that's a wooden card which is sustainable. Nowadays, especially in the sporting event management, we are sincerely thinking about how we can really do a carbon audit after the event is over. We have, for the power outage, a lot of power is being borrowed from the generators. Now we have in India, we are starting biodiesel generators. This has just started, but the capacities is going to get built up with private sector coming in. But there is a sincere effort for climate change.
And one more thing, sir. I would like to suggest that we should include the rural stakeholders also. Whenever we are organizing the big events, we are focusing on urban side, but we can, because there are the SSGs and corporates are also practicing through CSR activities and all. I hope somewhere it is already taking place, but we should make it more inclusive.
There are two formats in India. One is the Krida Mahotsav, which is being run by the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, and recently the Sansad Khel Mahotsav happened in a very big way. So, and it started at the rural, the grassroots, the tehsil level, sir. And it was the Honorable Prime Minister's vision that this year's Sansad Khel Mahotsav, he wanted each and every Sansad to participate. Not that they just do the popular cricket games and all that. So we came up with a beautiful idea about decentralizing the entire Sansad Khel Mahotsav. So with the Honorable Cabinet Minister Mansukh sir, an idea was generated where we created a dashboard of the entire Sansad Khel Mahotsav. The entire designing SOPs and the 3Ds, right from a tehsil level to the district level, were all posted on the dashboard. We empowered the Sansad offices and the local event managers that how the entire event can happen across the 2 months' time, which was a flexible time. And all the 299 Sansads closing ceremony was on a single day on the Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birthday, 25th of January. And I would like to announce to this audience, sir, that we finished 299 Sansad Khel Mahotsav games with more than 1 crore registrations from the length and breadth of the country. And Adil sir, more than 46% were below 18 years. 30% were women's. So this is how the entire, this is the best effort of sustainability, because a lot of logistics was saved because we used the digital platform and empowered all the local people. So this was an amazing case study.
So to me, sustainability and legacy go together. We shouldn't separate sustainability from legacy.
Yes.
Because sustainability, you'll talk about environment, social impact, governance, etc. But I think the legacy part should go with it, where you're not wasting anything, where the infrastructure that you created, how you can usefully use it for community, how you can create a sporting culture, long-term development. That is one part. I was very happy in Paris. There were no paper tickets.
Wow.
Everything was on
Barcode, QR
on
code.
barcode. You got it on your email on your barcode, and you give it on your barcode. So again, part of sustainability. At grassroots, I don't know how many of you know, but Athletics Federation of India runs the largest grassroots level program in the world, where 1 million children take part, only under 14 and under 16, in 625 districts of India out of 700 districts.
Wow.
You can't reach some of the districts, they are near Pakistan border, or they are near the Himalayas or Ulfa areas or whatever. From that we select 6,500 children and bring them to an all India inter-district. Only under 14, under 16, 15% are boys, 50% are boys, 50% are girls.
Wow.
The last one was held in Ahmedabad at Gujarat University.
Yes.
At Gujarat University. And from that you select 2,000, from that we select 1,000, and then finally we have a group of 200. So it's not that things are not happening at grassroots, it's just that everybody doesn't know about it. But things are happening, like Nishibai just said, things are happening at grassroots. And I think the focus of this government is more on grassroots than in urban areas, because we believe the talent is all there and we have to find ways and means of getting that talent. Yes, we have problems. We have problems because at schools you don't have enough PE teachers. As per the Education Act, you don't need a PE teacher till standard 5. When you get a PE teacher, he is normally or she is normally sent for many other things than PE. Picnic, take the team and go. There is some class supervision. Some teacher has not come, take the class. So there are complex issues which we are trying to resolve. But let me assure you that the government is absolutely focused on rural development.
And just to add before Arthur begins, maybe we need some more awareness. You must have seen how beautifully Bastar Olympic Games were organized, and that is a epitome of how rural and tribal areas are being taken care by the government. Because Chhattisgarh, being a tribal state, Bastar Games was a huge success, and all the indigenous games were already included in that event. Over to you, Arthur.
Yeah, just regarding the police-centric games, according to me, it's gonna kill the Olympism. The fact is, what does the athlete want? They want to see each other, to meet each other, to live in an Olympic village together. If you spread all the sites in your different in a country with which there is 1,000 kilometers between two sites, they will never see each other. What we are doing for the Winter 2030 Olympic Games in France, according to me, is a big mistake. Hopefully I'm here in India, maybe they don't hear me. But anyway, this is my position, because in a map you cannot realize that. But from the top sites to the last one, there is 500 kilometers and it's full of mountain. It maybe needs 6 hours by car from that one point to another. As a fan, how can I do that in only 10 days of competition? This is impossible. So we need to think to other solution, maybe reduce the Olympic program, maybe some other solution. But to me, spreading sites all around the country is a mistake in terms of Olympism experience.
They would be joining in the opening ceremonies and the main initial days.
So there is a flip side to what you're saying. So as you know, the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, which are coming up this year, is a very truncated games because they got it last minute. There are only 10.
Eight games.
Eight
or 10.
10 games. There are only 10 games. So I went to the Commonwealth, the government asked me to do it. I went to the Commonwealth Federation and requested them that it should be at least 20 games. And we are happy to do 10 games in India, which are not there. So they're going to do those, we'll do those, you do opening, we'll do closing, or we'll do opening, you do closing. They agreed. But Glasgow City refused. They said we want to be the sole. So, you know, it's you know,
Both sides of the
there
coin.
are both sides because Glasgow doesn't have the money to do the games, so that is why they truncated the games, but they won't let us do it. So, you know, that's the sort of thing that happens. So this is actually a practical example of what happened right now.
I would love to say something about what Arthur mentioned. So I interviewed a lot of athletes, and those were Olympic athletes, both for the Olympic Games and Winter Olympic Games. And indeed, they were saying, we want to have an Olympic village, the Olympic village, not many Olympic villages. We want to be there, we want to feel this unity, we want to get to know people some people are leaving, some people are coming, so there's some rotation of athletes, something is happening there all the time. So yes, this is a very important issue. However, truth be told, do we always have one Olympic village? Well, if we think about Winter Olympic Games, there's always a nice cluster and a mountain cluster. So we always have two Olympic villages in case of the Olympic Games, in case of Winter Olympic Games. And sometimes these two villages are located actually quite far from each other. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's a couple of hours. So it's not so easy if you are an athlete and if you have a timetable, and if you're an Olympic athlete, you always have a timetable. Also, if we talk about the Olympic Games, I mean summer games, also often, not often, always, some events are happening outside of the main host city, football events.
Okay.
They're always happening around the country.
Okay.
Equestrian sports, sailing. Sometimes equestrian sports are even happening technically abroad. The 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, because of the quarantine rules on horses, the equestrian sports were held in Hong Kong. And you may argue Hong Kong may be considered by some as a part of China. Some would say it's a separate entity. But for the purposes of the Olympic Committee, it's a separate National Olympic Committee. So one Olympic Committee is mainly in China, another one is Hong Kong. So whether polycentric Olympic Games will kill the Olympic Games, I don't think so. I think it's probably a natural evolution of the Olympic Games, because in terms of scale and scope, in terms of required costs, it is very, very hard. And in terms of sustainability also, ecological sustainability, it's quite hard to organize the event at one location nowadays. So maybe multi-city format is the way for the Olympic Games to develop, naturally develop.
I totally agree with Eliza, and in fact I'll add here, the core of Olympism is about human spirit. And I think climate change should become an integral part of the entire human race. I mean, it is a question which is everyone is responsible for. So these two both goes hand in hand, and in that case, polycentric is the best answer.
I honestly don't know what is the best answer, but I can tell you that there are two things, and there are two ways of looking at it. One is the prohibitive cost and the logistics of doing it in one place, and one is the killing of Olympianism, as he says. Which will kill who first, we don't know. So I think it's a very delicate balance between the two, and we'll have to balance both out at some point. So it's not going this way or that way, but I think you need to balance it.
You're sitting in the center, sir.
That's what I was about to say. So we will take one more question from the audience.
Yes, my question is related to the education, research, and legacy, combining all these together. We have a city which has hosted Commonwealth Games, Delhi 2010, and representative with us. We have Rio, not Rio, RIOU, Sochi, and France. I would like to know that because LA 84 is a big source of inspiration for the research and literature for the people around the world since 1984. Have we created something like that in Commonwealth Games 2010 afterwards, Sochi afterwards, and Paris afterwards? Thank you.
Would you like to answer?
No. Actually, we receive something like 70 million euro of benefits of the games, but we still don't know what to do with it. That's we can discuss about
He's
that.
being very honest about it.
I just said send it to us.
As you, we are inspired by the LA Foundation. But the thing is, we were so busy with the game that we forgot to prepare the legacy. I cannot say anything else than that. I'm very embarrassed, but this is the truth actually in France. We have money, we don't know what to do. The risk is we will only use for one-shot event and then nothing else. As I told in my presentation, we still don't have an Olympic museum. That kind of things. We have study center, but they are not that connected with NOC. So actually, education is like the poor kids of the 24 Olympic game in Paris. I have to be honest.
So an honest answer sometimes is better than the right answer, I would say. And also these are problem statements, sir, as we sit in the university, these are problem statements which we really need to take care of it. Maybe he do not have an answer. We may find an answer when it comes to India, when it comes to having India-centric games. Yes, sir, please.
So you want to know about Commonwealth Games 2010? Commonwealth Games 2010 was a lost opportunity for India. We focused on all the wrong things. We went after some sort of corruption, which is not proved till today. All the cases are being dropped one by one by the CBI and the EOW. Every case is being dropped. They're putting up 150 witnesses. Some witnesses were fake witnesses. You know, CBI has been fined for that. So we focused on all the wrong things instead of the right things. We got good results in London because of 2010. It was a spillover. And then you saw what happened in Rio. We got hammered in Rio because we wasted all our time doing all the wrong things and the right things. So yes, we missed out. It was a missed opportunity. We had two opportunities, 82 Asian Games and we had 2010. I hope that we plan well for 2030 and 36.
Ma'am, regarding the polycentricity, excuse me, ma'am. So is it a country, can the countries unite among themselves and conduct the Olympic Games, ma'am? Is it the version what you are talking about, the polycentricity, or is it multiple places in a single country, ma'am?
I actually, I would like to make this distinction between these two things. So co-hosting is when the event is being organized by more than one country. So at least two, 3, 4, 5. Like for instance, India was co-hosting Cricket World Cup with some other countries, with Sri Lanka and Bangladesh.
Now the event is
So
yet
this
to
is
happen.
co-hosting. But the potential format of future Olympic Games in India could be polycentric in terms of multi-city format within one country. So only one country involved. So that's a lot of soft power, a lot of branding for the whole country, but all these benefits go beyond just one city. They're going to be happening for the whole country. And in terms of nation building, it will be good as well. So these are two different approaches.
Now the question goes to sir. How does the polycentricity beat the Olympism, sir, because the core value of the Olympism is friendship. So as we were talking about not making a white elephant at a single place, rather when it is divided, that will be a much of a better unity among the country. This is what I feel, sir. What is your take on it, sir?
Your answer on this? Can you repeat the question, shorter version?
Yes, sir. So the core value of
Meanwhile, Olympic Village is considered to be the core value when it comes to Olympic, because all the athletes all across the globe come and stay somewhere so that they share a cultural space.
He's
That is
telling
one
the
thing.
same thing.
Apart from that, many a times it has been seen and observed that when it comes to organizing the games, though we are calling it
telling the same
polycentric
thing what
approach
you mentioned.
for the namesake, but many a times, as already given, that there are events which are happening across a region. For example, soccer, it cannot happen at one place of time, at one time. So it happens throughout. Now, yes, I over to you.
Nothing to add. I agree with what he said.
So Olympic Village, to be very honest, is a sacred place considered there, where all the cultural identities, people come and live together, they train together, they eat together, and that is what create a space of Olympic Village and Olympism, which gives it a cultural identity of Olympism. Otherwise, if we see hosting mega events, it is always considered that we don't create white elephant for creating them in one place. It is always there. They are not utilized after that, and that is why they turn into an white elephant. I hope.
Yeah,
that
so
justifies.
we have seen in the journey of Olympics and Commonwealth and all these mega events that a huge infrastructure comes up in one particular city, and then later on they become ghost infrastructure. So polycentric has a lot of advantages to it. I mean, decentralizing the things, wherever the infrastructure is already there, you are utilizing it.
So these are my concluding remark. Before we go ahead, I would like to formally thank every one of us, including myself. Adil sir, thank you so much for joining us. We still have a closing ceremony, and all our token of appreciations are due. So you have to wait for a while for that. And thank you so much. We'll have a group photograph.
Thank you.